This is Dennis Wilenchik, and we're here on Legalease every week from 4 to 5, leading into Lou Dobbs. So we've got the Sheriff of Maricopa County. We're honored to talk to him for the hour. Anybody wants to call up, you're free to do so. 277 KFNX. That's 277-5369. We've been talking to the Sheriff about his background. And Sheriff, when your parents came over here from Italy, that was like when, in the early 20s, right? Why did they go to Springfield, Massachusetts? How did they wind up there?
Well, you know how it is when you're living in Italy. You have friends that have come into the United States prior to, and my father and mother settled in Springfield, Massachusetts. A lot of Italians there.
I see.
What
did your father do there?
My father opened up an Italian grocery store. And
did you work there?
Hard. Yeah, and when I was going to high school, I delivered all the groceries. I am a senior citizen.
Right.
Some people say, how come you look so young, Sheriff? Because I drank a lot of olive oil, delivering the olive oil. That's why I look young. So,
and you still do it, right?
Well, I don't know.
Let's work.
So I worked hard. I wasn't the best student in high school. I played all the sports. I had to work hard to get a C average.
Did you always know you wanted to go into law enforcement?
When I was growing up, as I mentioned, they always say he wants to be an FBI agent. But in high school, I don't think I really, I was going to join the Army. I joined the Army the day the Korean War broke out, about that time, a high school graduate, and turned 18. I had not a rough life. I bounced around from 3 different families, and my father remarried when I was 12, so I had a stepmother.
Oh, I see. That's hard to lose your mother at a young age like that.
I never saw my mother.
Never saw your mother.
Died in childbirth. She gave her life for me because the doctor said if you don't have an abortion, you're going to die. That's why I'm a big right to life.
Yeah.
Plus, my daughter has adopted grandkids. I'm not going to get into it for security reasons.
Yeah.
But let me say one thing. They're from all different races.
Right.
So when all those demonstrators every day for 2.5 years in front of the Wells Fargo building, and Mary Rose, Will Cox, and everybody marching down the street calling me a racist, Hitler, every name in the book, be my guest.
I was going to ask you about that, actually. I'm glad you brought that up. Actually, my son Jack was mentioning that to me before the show. Jack, you were talking about the fact that people demonstrate downtown. He lives at the Orpheum Lofts right across the street.
Right.
So you see these people demonstrating and calling the sheriff names all the time. Sometimes it's really disgusting. It's deafening. I see that when I'm in court at lunch hour. But you were asking me how the sheriff must react to that, right?
I can barely even deal with it. I live down there, and I can't even go home. I can't even go home for lunch because I hear it. It's distracting.
How does that affect you? Do you avoid these people, or?
No, I walk right through them. I should send them a check every week. Had Sharpton come down and lead 10,000 people against me last year, along with Mary Rose, Will Cox.
It only makes you more popular, right?
Board of Supervisors. I had him in my office. I spent a half hour.
With Sharpton?
Of course.
Well, that must have been
After he got done marching, yeah.
What did you talk to him
about?
about?
I was a little blinded by all his jewelry, but I got by that.
But he's a reverend, so he can get away with that.
Yeah, well, but I love the guy. I said, come on back. I raised $50,000 that day, and my polls went up another 50%.
Oh, I see. You love him because the more he comes over here, the more people.
I want to send him a first-class airline ticket. Come on back. So they think they're hurting me, these guys?
Right.
I wonder who's paying them, because from 12 to 1 on the head, every day they're out there.
Right.
They don't even work overtime.
I've seen him and heard him, but and the guy who speaks can hardly speak English. But the thing about it is that it's probably the same people that picket companies, because those people are paid too, I understand. The ones that put the signs up, shame on so-and-so.
I saw there's a strike down there today. They're striking right outside the Gold's Gym, just a block away from the Wells Fargo building.
Striking one of the employers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably the same people, and they just pick them up and...
Well, it's not the same people in Nashville, New Hampshire, when I was up there 4 months ago talking to 1,000 Republicans, which everybody thinks I'm running for president because I went to New Hampshire. But I have 200 people up there. Everywhere I go, I get demonstrators, which I like. Because I go right in the midst of them.
Yeah, you're not shy about it. You go right and talk to them.
As long as there's television there. Radio, I don't care. But television is okay.
Radio's not a big deal anymore, right? But anyway, thanks for coming on the show. We appreciate it. But let me just ask you, about that, now you mentioned that you were in New Hampshire, what are your plans in the future? Do you want to run for Senate? Are you thinking about that?
Well, Dennis, every 4 years, as you've been following my career and helping me on some great legal advice, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
For that. You're an honorable, straight
Thank you.
lawyer, and I hope your son
He'll follow in the
Jack,
footsteps.
listens to his dad and takes some advice from his dad on ethics and loyalty and so on.
Thank you.
But every 4 years, governorships come up, and everybody says, run for governor. I could be the governor. And now the U.S. Senate has opened up.
And your numbers are higher than anyone's, really.
Well, I haven't taken away polls, but I know they're high because all the people come to me for my endorsement.
Right.
I think I've endorsed 24 people just locally, but across the nation. I was up in Vegas supporting Sheriff Sarah Anglo. I guess, in fact, I just saw her in San Francisco, the three Joes, Joe the plumber, myself, and Joe Miller, did a fundraiser.
Well, I got to tell you, honestly, I was talking to a friend of mine who I hadn't seen since I was a kid in New York today, and he knew who you were, so your reputation is all over the place.
Well, I got friends here today. I'm trying to get them here. They've been doing a documentary. I got the New York Times here today. You know,
Yeah,
the New York Times is not going to say I'm the greatest sheriff in the universe. They're going to,
of course not.
but that's great.
It helps you.
It'll be on the front page probably this week, the New York Times. I was on Jeopardy yesterday. How many people make Jeopardy?
You're on Jeopardy?
Yeah.
Doing what?
I don't know. They had a contest, and there's a lot of people called, and they had a contest about pink underwear. He said, do you know the name of the sheriff that makes it pink underwear? A guy says, yeah, Joe Arpaio. So I don't know how much money he won.
That's great.
So, I get on Inside Edition is going to do a thing with Steven Seagal,
Right.
claiming we knocked out doors or a house to get arrest a guy with chickens.
Yeah, Steven Seagal now, I saw him with you recently. He is now taking that really seriously. I mean, he was in a uniform, and he was really talking about his guys, and what is going on with that?
Yeah, he works for me.
Yeah, what is the story?
He's doing an A and E story that he did in Louisiana.
Lawman?
Yeah, but the sheriff died.
I see.
The other sheriff doesn't like him, so someone introduced him to me, and I said, yeah, let him do his show. So he's taking a little heat, and I'm taking some heat, whatever I do.
So that's going to be on like next season, or?
No, it's coming up probably in the fall. It's in the hopper.
Does he have you on the show and stuff?
Well, they had me on knocking down a door
That was
to catch the cockfighting
Yeah,
ring,
right.
and the guy was dangerous, regardless of what you hear.
Right.
Supposed to have guns in there, and was arrested previous for the same subject, out on probation. And I didn't know we were going to have our SWAT team there, but because of the danger involved, we sent our SWAT team out. Every day the police send SWAT teams out, because I go after 150 roosters involved in the cockfighting.
Yeah.
I'm the bad guy.
Well, whatever you do is going to generate some kind of controversy. That's just the way it is, and you're used to that by now, I'm sure. Right? Whatever you do is going to be criticized or put down by somebody. That's just life.
Yeah, but Dennis, I feel comfortable with myself.
Right.
I've been 50 years in law enforcement, 18 years as a sheriff.
You don't back down. You don't back down.
No, why should I? I got the law on my side. My people do a good job, regardless of all the heat that you hear.
Well, there's a lot of heat, but so far nothing's happened. So
yeah, well, they go to feds, and everybody.
They like announcing, I guess, that there's a bunch of
throw stuff
investigations.
against the wall, hoping that something sticks.
Yeah. Well, you've weathered a long time right now. So what is it? How many years now is it?
I'm going on 20.
20 years as the sheriff. Amazing. And you have plans to stay as the sheriff? I
Oh,
assume.
they're definitely running again, 110% for all those critics.
Yeah.
If I don't run for U.S. Senate.
Well, what are your thoughts about the Senate situation right now? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Mixed emotions. I spent 3 tours in Washington. I don't really like Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Not a great place to live either.
What's the senator? What they got? 4 people that work for them, they talk. I can talk as a sheriff. Also, I have a gun and badge.
Yeah, you can
so I can
enforce the law.
I talk and I have action.
Right.
The only reason I might consider it because, boy, I'd have a great platform right up Pennsylvania Avenue, right?
Yeah, but the problem with being a legislator is that's all you are. Is you're just one of many, and you
Talk.
sit there and talk. Like you said, there's not a lot of action. right now you're in charge of a big office and you can do things and bring.
There's only one sheriff in Maricopa County, 100 senators.
Exactly, only one sheriff. And I want to talk. We're going to have to take a break soon, but I want to talk to you also about this border fence. Did you see today the
2 miles.
securing 2 miles border? You think that's going to do any good?
No.
Why
Well,
not?
I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be great. If you have a hardware store, they'll be selling more ladders and shovels. Somebody's going to make out for the
Tunnels.
economy, right?
They'll go down underneath, right? Or catapult over it.
Yeah, secure the border. Secure the border first.
So you're not a builder.
First.
You're not a builder
I
dang
don't
fence
agree
guy?
with that.
Yeah.
No. That's
How
a
would you
cop-out.
secure real quickly?
I can't say very quickly.
Okay.
Because I have to go back to Mexico and Turkey, which I started to talk about, a word called operational.
All right, we're going to come back to that. This is Dennis Wilenchik with Sheriff Joe Arpaio on KFNX, and after these messages.